"We should probably at least attempt to consult Carr," Eid said questioningly in the direction of Arajakal, who was climbing into, and Siraj the scarab, who was leaning against the grimy dingo. "We are of no use to him dead," replied Siraj, the tone in his voice growing in urgency towards the end of the statement, as he noticed the rising cloud of pale blue dust that obscured much of the horizon. It had been kicked up into the air by an unprecedented number of massive columns of armored vehicles. The valley lay in front of them. It was a forbidden zone, being filled with weapons of all descriptions, especially for their arrival. It was late in the afternoon and it was becoming decidedly gloomy as heavy grey stratus swept in on a cold wind from the southeast. Jack was having difficulty following the seldom-used tracks. They would lead the fugitives around the foothills at the base of the great ridge and mountains. Then they would be able to travel westward, away from the massive combined force. Xamanarch had marshalled and mobilized High Lord Bloodcross's colossal command to utterly destroy all those who were in league with Carr, but especially the one he called Siraj of the Few. The dingo's tracks were still being chemically dampened, but this was not the case with the captured Link's main battle tank. It was churning a neatly embossed signature into the blue soil and clay that would be easy for any Detosian reconnaissance aircraft to detect. Jack and Garan had assumed tactical command of the group because of their professional military backgrounds. Although the deep tracks were a concern, they both thought it best to persist with the late-model MT-77 Lynx. This was primarily because they believed that the credible firepower of the 113mm main gun it sported might prove crucial. "Sure enough," grumbled Jack, as he heard an irritating sound vibrating in the air. The niggling drone of a Hummingbird forward air control aircraft could be heard distinctly over the clattering war-worn vehicles. "Can you contact our master?" Othan asked Arajakal, referring to Carr. "Master Carr has talent that exceeds my own," answered Arajakal with obvious disgust. "Is he not obliged to contact us?" Jack set the dingo to 1/2 speed auto-drive. This model had a limited capacity to avoid obstacles on its own. 1/2 speed was by no means completely fail-safe. The vehicle could career into a pole or tree, or even over a ravine. Recommended top speed for auto-drive was 1/4 throttle. Jack was climbing back into the crew cabin. He fumbled recklessly with both hands, grappling with a 1.3 m long, black and yellow rectangular metal box. He reefed it out from under the row of passenger seats. On the side, FM-35 was stenciled in reflective red paint. The Hummingbird was a relatively simple aeroplane. It had 2 forward propellers mounted on one hub, a light Utopium airframe and excellent maneuverability, but unfortunately for its brave pilots, no armament. What it did possess that gravely concerned Jack was its infrared sensory array and long-range radio. He clambered up the compact extending ladder to the top hatch. "D6, this is H1. Sighted prime target, grid pose a 506 H32. The efficient jargon of Hummingbird and other Detosian FAC-1 pilots was well drilled. Its condensed form was intended to expose the airman to the least risk of detection through electronic surveillance equipment. His words were a rapid stream of emotionless monotone.